Hey everybody, it's Glidercat and it's time to play. Back in Satisfactory. Let's see here as I spin around and make everybody dizzy. I'm over here by the MAM. Let's see, last episode, what did we do? We started clearing out this area. Look at that. All those machines are gone now. We just have the miners. In preparation for using these two mines for a new steel factory. And we haven't done really anything on that yet. But I've done a bunch of work between episodes. I was hanging out here by the MAM just before starting this episode to see what we could research. I went and hammered out a bunch of the oscillators, the crystal oscillators. Let's see. Is that under quartz? Yeah, a bunch of these guys. Crystal oscillators. So we've got 141 of them. And then I also hammered out a bunch of these heavy modular frames because they take 4 ingredients, and we haven't unlocked the next building that allows us to construct with 4 ingredients. Not sure if that's the manufacturer or not. Anyway, so we can unlock the radio tower, and we've already unlocked the map. So let's go ahead and do that research real quick. And I've never used the radar tower. I'm going to have to figure out how it works. Let's see, and then we've got this radio signal scanning. That takes another 9 oscillators. These took forever to hammer out. And I drove back to our crystal mining facility here to get crystals. I grabbed a ton. I thought I had enough, and I've actually run out. And then we also need these motors. And so I've got those kind of being worked on over here, just kind of in our manual setup. I can top this off. We'll come back to this later. We're not going to wait for these. But yeah, we'll play with the map. And then we've also got the Explorer vehicle we got to play with too. Let's see. I don't even know how you bring up the map. I'm going to have to look that up. But anyway, let me show you the work that I've done in between episodes. We'll get to the map. We'll get to the Explorer for sure. Maybe not this episode. I kind of want to get some factory work done so we can start accumulating some product. So as part of tearing up our very first factory setup here, oh, you can see something in the distance there. I'll tell you what that is in a little bit. As part of tearing up these factories in our old fix-it shop, we basically stopped producing coupons. So I took advantage of the 2 limestone mines that we weren't using down here. And I set up 4 constructors on each mine, and I think I overclocked these just with one power shard, bringing them up to 180 a minute. And so we've basically got 8 constructors here just churning out concrete, and then that concrete, all that concrete is just being belted into the awesome sink here. So at least we've got some coupon generation going. I don't think this is the most productive, just sending concrete in. But we weren't really using these mines right now. We've got some spare electricity. I figure might as well just get this thing set up, let it run in the background, and we'll slowly be generating tickets. So that's one thing I did. Wasn't terribly interesting, so I thought I'd just do that off camera. But want to let you know about it. We're still generating tickets. And then, yeah, that is the big project straight ahead. And we're probably going to work on that now, actually. And for maybe a good part of this episode, I'll show you what this is all about. And I've just got some very few windows on here. We're probably going to do something different with the design. I just want to get the structure in place first. This has all been disconnected, by the way, the biomass. I'm letting it accumulate. And I've kind of starved out these storage bins, so there's really nothing to produce. I think this is my one for wood. I have a little bit of wood on me. I can throw that in there. But we'll see. I think I mentioned last episode, the episode before, I'm thinking of stockpiling this solid biomass, and then we can convert that to liquid biomass later and have it as a supplementary source of fuel, maybe for the trucks or something. I'm not sure. I just thought maybe I'd keep this instead of just throwing it into the awesome sink, and instead use that limestone for the awesome sink. This area's all been cleared out. Remember, this was where we had our original awesome sink set up. We had 2 iron mines kind of producing I think it was the reinforced iron plates or something. and then feeding those into the awesome machine. And boy, that generated a ton of tickets for us over time. But it's time to start using this mine for things we need to use it for. These 2 iron mines. So these are Mark IIs, fully overclocked. And then this is the factory I've started that replaces all the work that was surrounding our hub. All of the stuff producing the iron plates, the screws, the rods, the modular frames, and the reinforced plates. I believe we had machines down for all that stuff. So this multi-story behemoth here, and it's not done yet, is going to serve that purpose for us. Let me show you what I've got going on here. So we've obviously got the 2 mines, Mark IIs, overclocked, fully overclocked, feeding in here. And we'll make this all look pretty later. The first floor here is just smelting. So I've basically got, I think, 4 lines of smelters. And the way it works out with the ratios, I believe, if I've got it right, is I've got 2 rows of 5 smelters and then 2 rows of 4 smelters. So the way it works is 4 smelters, then 5, and then 4 smelters, and then 5. And that should keep everything kind of humming along as long as the ingots are being used. So then on each one of these lines, I'm sending the ingots up on a separate line. So these smelters, the output from these smelters is not merged anywhere. So basically we've got, let's see, if we produce 30 per minute, this line, which has 4 smelters, is dumping out 120 minute on this belt. And that's all it's ever going to get. These aren't merged together. All right. So first floor, smelting. And I just prefer these ramps, by the way. I don't know why. I guess they feel safer, wider, and they look just more industrial and chunky to me than the stairway. So probably going to standardize on using the ramps. And just aesthetically, I kind of like them better. All right, second floor. Up come the ingots from 2 of our smelters. So here and here. One has 120 and one has 150. And all we're doing on this floor is producing, I think, iron plates. Take a look. Where's my iron plates? Here they come. Yeah, so these guys are all producing iron plates. So we're using, I don't know, 9 smelters worth of ingots and just entirely producing iron plates. Now these lines are, the output from these lines is merged onto this belt here. If I can show you a little bit, let me show you, yeah, I can show you a little bit about how it's designed. It's a little cleaner than the earlier factory layouts I've done, and it's also, but it still has the space. So I still have a lot of wasted space, but that's just kind of my signature thing, I guess. So basically, yeah, 4 in a row. Input is here. Splitters feeding the miners, and then all the constructors. And then the output just all gets merged onto this belt. Here, all the plates. Seems slow. Slower than I imagined. Plates come out here, and then they just join up with the other line here of constructors on the same belt. That output is merged in. Excuse me. And then into a big storage array. And we've seen these before. We did this in the crystal. Our crystal factory. In fact, the crystal factory, they're all full right now. All of the storage like this is full. These guys, I don't know where they're at. They're not very full, so the production's a little slow. But we've got, you know, a huge supply of plates here. And then, in addition to storing them, I just have a splitter dividing out the output. So half of the output goes into kind of long-term storage here. And my goal long-term is to dump this out, maybe out the side here, go back down, and then feed some kind of truck stations where trains or trucks can come pick up iron plates if we need them. I'm not even sure if we're going to need them or what we're going to need them for. Anyway, the other half of the output that isn't going into storage makes its way up this belt. Boom. And that's going to go to produce the reinforced plates. So I don't think I have that going yet. That's pretty much this floor. I just have this kind of glass here to protect from falling through. This, for some reason, this reminds me of a factory I used to work in. This use of glass like this, but so that's kind of why I'm using it. And I kind of like the aesthetic. I don't know if I would take that all the way up to the ceiling or not. Like in this case, I think at one of the other factories, maybe the steel factory, I took these glass walls all the way up to the ceiling. I don't know if that's necessary or not. I think it actually looks better not going all the way up. All right, let's head up the stairs. Oh yeah, and we used all the power on the ceiling here. But no power poles. So that's kind of an improvement. Let's head up to the third floor. Third floor, we've got one belt that we're using, and I think this is one of the fives. So 5 smelters. So it should be like I think 150 ingots per whatever minute. What do we got going on here? On this floor, same kind of setup as before. We've got screws, and we're using an alternate recipe that we unlocked through the map. So we're using alternate recipe called cast screw. And this guy allows us to skip the step of developing iron rods before you do the screws. And we can create screws straight from the ingots. And I think it's supposed to be faster too. These guys are all set up for that. Same exact setup. All the outputs come out here. And then what do we do here? Oh, I got a little creative here on this floor because instead of having everything merge onto a single belt, the output from the screws is more than a belt can handle. Like these things kick out 50 per minute. So I can't merge the output from 2 rows of these things onto a single belt. So what I chose to do was split each one. So this line's output, I think there's 4 or 5, 4 constructors producing screws. I just split the output. So half of it's going on the top belt, half it's going on the bottom belt. Then the very next line, I do the same thing, half on the top, half on the bottom. We're not losing any productivity there, any output. And then what do? I think once we get to the third line, I think I have a total of 12 constructors here. Once we get to the third line, I do the same thing. I split it, but then we're starting to lose a little bit of output. I think I've saturated the belts at this point. Because I think it's 200 per. So if I have 200 output per line, so I've got 600 total output per minute of screws, but I've only got 2 belts that are 270 each. So that's like, what, 540. So I'm losing 60 screws a minute just due to not having the throughput. Anyway, once these lines are split, and these are, saturated belts now, 270, Mark IIs. One line goes into storage, as you might expect. That's filling up. Slowly. Oh, I thought that would... Oh, these stack pretty high, 500 each. So there's a ton of storage there for screws. So we'll see if we need them or not. I don't know. Maybe we won't. And then the other line of screws is heading up around here. It goes behind all this stuff. And then that's going up to the floor to join up with those plates that we saw, the iron plates, where we're going to make the reinforced iron plates. That's where that's going. And then the reason I did that strange splitting in the back there is if one line backs up, the surplus screws will go towards the other line. So it'll go feed storage or something if this is backed up. Anyway, and I'm kind of thinking ahead that, eventually we're going to be able to upgrade these belts, and then this setup will still work when we upgrade the belts. All right, let's head up to the 4th floor. What do we got going over here? Similar setup. We've got... That's just a pass-through. I think that's our screws, right? Then we've only got one more belt of ingots to deal with, and it's right here. So here come our ingots. And this is, I think, a line that only has 4 smelters, so 120 ingots a minute. And what are we doing with these guys? These guys, we are developing... Ooh, I don't know if I'm even done with this. Yeah, this is the one we're going to work on. I think this is meant to be, yeah, the rods. We don't have it powered up yet. So this is going to be rods. These rods will have storage like we do on every floor. But then the other half of the output from this will go up a couple levels to a floor we haven't placed yet. And that's going to use the reinforced plates and the and these rods to make the modular frames, I believe. So that is what I've been working on between episodes. And I think we should finish this. Finish this together. I did a lot of work off camera. My voice kind of gave out when I was recording, and I was kind of tired too. That wasn't the best time to record, but I figure I could make some progress on these factories between episodes, because we've got tons of factory stuff to do. But yeah, I want to get this one done. So we've got the rods, we've got reinforced plates, and then we got one more floor we got to put together for the modular frames. Then we'll be done with this factory, or at least done until I figure out how I want to hook up to truck stations so we can export the product out of here. But we can at least start accumulating storage. Then we want to move on to that platform, and I think we set this guy up last episode. That is the site for our new steel factory. And we're going to use those 2 miners kind of on the center of the screen. We've already got the stacked conveyors there, or conveyor elevators. We haven't done anything on that build yet. That's going to be useful. And then we need to hook up to the coal mine straight ahead and do steel. And then we're going to do the versatile somethings. Versatile framework. I think that's the first thing we're going to construct over in that factory. And then we'll export modular frames from this factory over there. We might be able to just cheat and take a belt, because we're going to be doing those, I think, 2 floors up. This is rods. This is going to be the reinforced iron plates, and then it's modular frames. But we may be able to run some kind of belt over to that factory when it comes time to build the versatile framework. And we need a ton of these too. So we need to get this factory going, actually, because we need a ton of these. And we've got a new recipe. Do we have a new recipe for this? No, I guess we don't. For the steel beams. We have a new recipe for the encased steel beams, where you can use pipes instead of these guys. But anyway, that is the plan. And then maybe once we finish this factory and before we start working on the steel, maybe we'll go play with the Explorer vehicle. We haven't built it yet. And then play with the map and then see if we can unlock the radar station or whatever it is. And play with that in between, just for a diversion from all the factory building. And then we could always take the Explorer out and see if we can't find some more hard drives. Kind of, excuse me, getting a little more antsy to uncover more alternate recipes as we're starting to build these larger scale factories. I'm not super keen on having to rework them later. I'm sure I will as we get new recipes. So maybe we'll take the Explorer out and see if we can find some hard drives. And I'm not sure if the object scanner allows us to find those a little easier. I haven't really played with the object scanner. We've got one. Where is it? Let's see. We've got several. I haven't played with this at all. I really don't even know how to use it. Let's see. I guess this is showing what I can hunt for so far. Maybe I have to unlock other things. Power slugs, mushrooms, nuts, berries. What is that? Ooh, is it doing something? Okay. So yeah, I may have to read up on this. I don't know if there's a way to... If we're going to get upgrades to this thing and we can find stuff that's a little more interesting. Oh, no, this is my normal. That's my normal ore scan. Yeah, it'd be cool if we could do like wreck sites, crash sites here instead of just berries, nuts, and mushrooms and power slugs. That's that's a little underwhelming. I think there's probably more we can do. Anyway, let's get to work. We are working on the rods, right? Rods, yeah. All right, we've got our ingots set up. We've got output set up. We need basically just power, and then we need output over here. Let's finish the power line, the output belt here, and then we'll do power. So what I've been doing here, yeah, let's get into the work and less of the jaw flapping here. Boom. I've just been curving these around. If we scale this out further at some point, we'll need to obviously move this belt, but that could be a while, and it's not that labor intensive to move this, so I'm not too worried about it. And I guess we just come down the middle here. Is there a better way? Yeah. How about there? There? At the middle? That looks like the middle. Yep, we're good there. Let's put a support maybe halfway. Ooh, what am I missing? It's my computer, a little glitch on my computer. Apologize for that. All right, boom. Down to here, I think. And then mergers along the way. These constructors are nice. They're right in the middle, so they're easy to line up. I have this set right? That looks right. Merger. Merger. One more, and we're done with that. Alright, that one's not perfect, but good enough. Let's get power. Did I route power up here yet? I have not. I can show you how I've been doing that. We need to go down a level. Okay, there's our little wall of power. So it's right... It's meant to be right here. And I don't know why, I've been using the... this huge menu of building. I'm starting to kind of standardize on this instead of using my hotbar. I need to probably break the habit. But I've gotten into the habit of not using my hotbar for a lot of stuff. It's kind of strange. Alright, there's our power line. Let's grab ourselves some connectors and just... I'm just punching this thing through the floor. Actually, I can just do it with this guy. I think. There we go. U to U. But yeah, it's not perfect, but coming through the floor like this, I wish there was a double-sided connector that worked through the foundations, but I don't think there is, or at least I haven't found it. All right, let's get a little bit of more wall up here. We need one of these, and I've been using this style window. And there's not a whole lot of thought that's gone into the design. Maybe the windows should be lower. But that's kind of the design I've been going with on other factory buildings. So we'll just stick with it for now. Then I kind of like these little wall outlets. Although, again, I don't need to do it with that way. I can just take the power line. Boom. Boom to boom. I'm going to have to go get more cable here, too. All right, so we want to power these guys up. Where does it make sense to do it? I guess straight down this line looks good. I'm going to stick to the middle so I don't fall off the edge of the floor here while I'm looking up at the ceiling. Because I've done that before. Or these guys. think the ceiling connectors look pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to stop over at the copper factory and get more cable. I burned through it when I was creating something. I don't know if it was the motors or what the heck it was. Something I was constructing. Maybe the crystal oscillators. All right, let's get more power over this way. Is this the line? I think it is. Suppose we could do these as we go. All right, these guys are springing to life. There's our rods, iron rods. Then we've got our little routine where we split. It's going to be a little tricky because we got this guy. This should probably be elevated, this belt. It's a little goofy the way I've got it routed. All right, we want to do a couple things. We'll worry about the outputs. How are we going to do this? That's a merger, so I can't hook up to that. I guess I put a splitter here. Dead center. And then that guy hooked up. And now we need to come into storage. I'm going to push back a little on where the storage starts. Let's do it here. And I don't know. I have no idea how many containers I should have. So I'm going with 5. I can stack. I can't go 4 high with these for some reason. They're just a little too tall. I'm going with a regular one on the bottom and then a industrial one on top. And then I've just been going with 5, basically 5 stacks of these. Is it too much? Is it too little? I have no idea, but it's something. It's more than a tiny bit, so... And we can scale it. We can make this bigger the way we've got it. The industrial ones are nice. They actually rotate themselves as you place them. So that's pretty cool. The other ones don't seem to do that. Okay, I think I've got this right. Isn't too bad, actually. It's pretty easy. Okay, let's hook up to this guy and see if we can do something that looks decent. Looks good. That's where we want it. It's not quite centered. I think. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. And then on this side, it's all about conveyor lifts. So let's do those. Yep. Up. Whoops, that one was not oriented correctly. Lift. Lift. Back down. Back up. Back down. And back up. That's those. And then on the other side, it's all about belts. Pretty easy to figure out here. Okay, that one's going up to the top, so we need to move it over. Then it goes to the bottom. We need to move that one over. And so on and so forth. We should see, there they are, our rods getting stored. So that's that half of the output. Now we need to route the other ones. I think we're going to raise this belt. It's just kind of annoyingly in the way. And I'm wondering if we should just raise it from right back here. Or how quickly we can raise it. Let's do it. It's just very it's very poorly placed, I would say. And do we use the single pillars or do we use the conveyor stackers? I kind of like the way the stackers look, but let's try and mix it up a little bit and use these poles. I'm not sure how high they're going to let me go. No, nowhere. Nowhere that early. Keep that. Whoops. Gotta go a little further out. They let me go up a notch. 2, 1. See if we can get up. And then I wonder if I can hop over this thing. That would be kind of interesting. Just to do it to do it. That's the height that seems the most appropriate. Oh, look at that. They're not going to let me. I can't even place it. That's interesting, huh? That's interesting. That seems like they should let you do the single click and adjust the height before they say you can't do it. Let's see. Let's see what we can do there. I guess we could yank this. Huh. How do we get around that one? Seems like there would be a way to do that, doesn't it? I guess we can start from this side. Let's try that. We'll start the belt from this side and see what we can do. It's gonna be tricky coming down that slope that fast. We don't have a lot of room. Let's start with a little support here. Let's do just one of these guys. Just kind of experimenting. This is kind of for fun. May actually have to slope this down. This looks doable, right? So this is the way to do it if you want to do it. Place the support down first and then join your belt up. Now this looks like it's going to be... Oh, is that going to work? That... Man, if this works... Well, I got to say, I'm extremely happy with that. Super happy with how that turned out. I like it. I know we're blocking some ports here or whatever, but... I like it. That's better. Okay, this comes out. Let's get rid of it. Keep things moving. Don't get too enamored with a trivial build here. That looks better. And the main reason we're doing this is just to create a path for this output coming out of this guy. And we want to climb up. So I think what we'll do is come around and then hit a elevator right here. These rods need to go up, I think, 2 floors. Let's see. What's straight up? It's this, probably, right? And I need to build another floor before I can even route this. Let's go up and do that. There's our screws. Next floor is the reinforced iron plates. We need to do another floor, and the stairs need to come over this way. So let's get on that. We're definitely going to use the toolbar for this. Boom. Boom. Now let me try once again the double foundations. This was recommended by a viewer. I tried it once, but I didn't really give it a good try. So let's try those new ones that I unlocked from the coupon shop or whatever, the Fix-It store, or Awesome Shop. Where would that be? Foundations. It's this guy. Is this going to do what we want? Or is that going to clog the path? I guess we've got plenty of room. Maybe that is better. It could be a lot faster, and it looks looks better too, actually. Can I snap these together? Ooh. All right. I'm kind of getting sold on them. I like it. I'm glad I tried it again, and I'm glad they were recommended. All right. That's 3. We'll see if we run into any kind of problems, but it's looking pretty good right now. Eventually, maybe I'll convert the other ones, but we're not going to do that probably on camera. It'll be a little tedious to watch. All right. We need to build, keep building here. In fact, that one goes away. This becomes our next. Let's get this on the hotbar here for 7. Trying to get back in the habit of using this thing. That's our path back up. I like setting that early because I'll forget. And then here's our massive platform. And I'll trim this. I know it's not perfectly sized. But this is just, we're just roughing it in here, and then we'll, once we have an idea of how wide the factory is going to be and all that, we can trim it size. But I don't want to have to fill with adding stuff all the time. Let's see how far it goes out. I think we need maybe one more here. Let's see. Pop this guy down and walk over. Yeah, we can see we're in the right spot here. Always a little paranoid I'm going to fall. I need to research. I need to practice with the parachutes. I have them, and I haven't made any. So I'm proceeding with unnecessary risk for no good reason. All right, that's our floor. What do we do here? This is safe to build out, I think. And then how far do we come out? Do I come out one more? I think I do. Maybe right there. You need a little bit of headroom. That's probably more than enough, but all right, let's extend that part out, and then we'll head back down. In fact, we need to extend this out a bit. I was going to say that we'll head back down and run that conveyor lift. To bring the rods up to this floor. This is going to be the... I don't know why I always forget the name of those things. Constantly forget the name of these guys. What are they? Modular frames, right? Modular frames, yep. This is where we're making those. Let's go out a couple more notches while we're here. Starting to get more familiar with the smart tool here. Smart mod, I should say. Major time saver. And it doesn't take away anything from the game. I don't use blueprints a lot in games. I kind of want to do it myself until things get tedious. And for me, and everybody's level of tedious is going to be different, right? Their threshold. But placing a lot of foundations is clearly tedious to me, so I appreciate the smart mod quite a bit. All right, let's push this out. While we're here, we got to go down a floor. And yeah, there's our cool supports. I know they're not symmetrical. Maybe there should be another support here or something. But that real fine-tuning is probably never going to happen. So as far as really fine-tuning the aesthetic and getting it perfect, counting out, you know, whatever, inches, probably not going to do that anytime soon. All right, where's our output? It's here. We said we're going to jump up here. We need to punch a hole through that. Pretty sure that's where we're going to come up. So I'm going to put a wall here with the port. I think that's the right way I want it. Yeah. That's going to allow us to snap in. And then this has been kind of tricky, but I'm getting a little better at placing these conveyor lifts. I want it facing that way, I suppose. Yeah. Because we're going to loop the belt around this way. and come in. I could do it like that. Might be even better. I haven't been doing it that way. But I suppose let's try it for something different. May not be consistent. I'm okay with not being consistent as long as I can experiment. That looks possibly like it's the right placement. I might be one too far out, but let's go up and see. I got the bottom placed. I'm going to go up 2 floors, place the top. I do like that. I do like that a lot. So thank you to the person who recommended that. That is pretty cool. Can we snap in? Is this going to be successful? Looks good. Wow. Almost never happens on the first try, but that one worked. That's going to bring our rods up. We still need to get the reinforced plates up here, and we haven't built those yet. That's next. Let's go down a couple floors, see if there's anything left for us to do. I think we're just about done here. Yeah, everything's powered. Double check, make sure everything's moving. I'm just looking to make sure I see every machine kind of compress. I'm down on that one. Yep. Yep. Okay. We should be good. Here's your rods going in the storage. We'll let those guys collect. Burn through a bunch of electricity in the process, but we've got plenty. Now, I noticed you can't actually see the power network by clicking on one of those connectors. I think you have to have a power pull down. Or the machines, I think, display it too. All right, this is reinforced plate land. Let's go with the glass windows here for safety. I don't go walking in that hole. I think one looks better actually than having them go all the way up. This looks like OSHA required this or something. All right, let's get rid of that. OSHA, for those who don't know, it's a kind of a US thing. Occupational Safety and Health Administration or Association or something. They do health and safety regulations on factories and all kinds of stuff, workplaces. All right, so we've got materials that are kind of far apart. We need to do our reinforced iron plates here. So how do we want to do it? These, yeah, this, I could horseshoe, I could bring that back. Or I can just start here. We'll see how far we get. We're getting near the end of the episode here. We need, what, assemblers for this. Thinking of starting them right here. Something like that. Let me get a couple placed. And then we'll look at the ratios and all that and see what we need. But I'm thinking... Whoops. Placing kind of on this corner right there. Oh, and I need more cables. Kind of knew that was going to happen. Maybe I can grab those between episodes. Let's just check and see how many we're going to need. This, boy, I don't even know what the outputs are. We've got, what do we have here? We got screws, which is, I'm pretty sure, is a full belt. Screws, I think, are down there. Or no, that's not. The screws are over here. Yeah, we routed them over here. I think these are the screws. That's a full belt. 270, pretty sure. The plates were probably pretty good there, too. Let me just check that. Or I could just assume, let's assume it's 270 on the plates, too. Let's assume we have full belts, because down the road, even if we don't right now, down the road we might. But let's see what this is going to take. 30... Okay, 60 screws per minute. That's going to be our limiting guy. I think Yeah, 60 per minute. We've got 270 coming in, right? So 270 divided by 60, is that right? Something like that. I always like to do an ore scan when I'm calculating. It just helps everything compute faster. All right, 270 divided by 60, 4.5. So we need 5 of these guys doing reinforced plates. Boy, it seems like it's going to be slow, doesn't it? Man. 5 reinforced plates. That sounds slow, especially when we've got extra screws, too. We could... Man, we're not going to do it now. But my concern is screws are kind of the limiting factor, and we know that we've got a surplus of screws down there. We could run another conveyor up here of screws pretty much no problem without hurting our supply. Oh boy. That would be maybe a separate line, and we would do 5 per line. I think what I'm going to go with here... Oh, and I gotta bring 2 materials here, so we're gonna stack. So what I'm thinking of doing is 2 belts here stacked, right? Screws and iron plates. And now I got an option. I can do 3 and then 2, or I can just do 5 in a row. And I might just do the 5 in a row. Yeah, 5 of these guys. 5 assemblers in a row. We'll just extend this out. And that'll be it for that. That'll entirely spend our belt of screws. Right? Because 5 times 60 is 300, and the belt's only going to have 270. That'll take care of that. And then, but it's only going to chew up 5 times 30, 150 of our iron plate belt. That's half of it. Right? So it seems compelling, if we can figure out a way to do it, to bring up another belt of screws. Like I said, I know we've got surplus. We're throwing away 60 per minute in terms of just lost productivity. So if I could find a way to get, actually, as I look at this, I don't know why I didn't just route the screws up one of these one of these channels. Maybe we will. But in order for me to tap into, so that's something I'm thinking about. I was gonna say, in order for me to tap into that surplus, the 60 that we're kind of losing because the belts can't take it, I'd have to split these lines early. Let's see, these guys are throwing out 200 each. I'd have to do something a little messy, or I'd have to take this 3rd line. So bear with me here. We've got 3 rows of 4 constructors outputting screws. Each row gets us 200 screws, so they're not saturating any belts. And then we're dividing it up between 2 belts. So at the end of this row, I've got 100 on that belt and 100 on this belt. Then we come over here and we add 100 to each belt. So now we got 200 and 200. Everybody's happy. Then this 3rd row is where the waste comes in. And we end up putting another 70 here, 70 here, and throwing away 60. These 2 belts get 270, and 60 just sit here, not being able to go anywhere. That's basically what we're seeing here, why this isn't moving, I think. So what we could do is disconnect this 3rd line and just run it. Don't merge it with everybody else. Just take this 3rd line, and that would get us 200 more screws we could send up top. And we'd still have we'd have, let's see, we'd have two slightly anemic belts of screws going up. And I say anemic because right now, the belt that we're sending up is 270. It's fully saturated. If I disconnect that third line of 4 constructors, then this guy goes down to 200. But then, so we'd have one line of 200 going up top, 4 reinforced plates, but I could take this line and send this up on its own. So we have another line of 200 going up there. And so instead of 270, we'd end up with 400. And we've got more than enough iron plates to accommodate that. Let's take a look. And then we'll wrap up this episode. Let's just take a look. Whoops. Where am I? Not here. Might be worth spending some time thinking about. Because these reinforced plates are slow. You only get 5 per minute. And we've got surplus screws. So yeah, we only get 5 per minute. And then under the current design, we're only going to have 4.5 really running. So 200 more screws would get us... We'd have 400. So it'd be... Yeah, you'd have 2 rows of 4. Yeah, we'd end up with 2 rows of 4 instead of 1 of 5. Let me give that some thought between episodes. I'm going to go grab some cables. I do want to finish this, but I thought we'd get farther than we did, but I had a lot to explain this episode. But yeah, I think that's going to be worth doing. It's not perfect and perfectly balanced, and it's going to throw off our storage potentially. So for example, if the reinforced plates do back up, if we are fully stocked and we're not using them, it could cause that third line of screws to be isolated when it could be used to fill up storage if this storage started getting empty. But we could account for that too. So yeah, we'll do that. I'll do a little bit of tinkering between episodes. I think we'll wrap this one here. I'm going to go fetch some cable. We know we need that. I might go get some crystal too, and I think we need some of that. Make some more of those crystal oscillators. Anyway, for now, this is Glidercat signing off, saying thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoy this content. I definitely enjoy putting it together for you. If you do like it, please do give it a thumbs up. That helps my tiny channel grow, and I could definitely use the growth because the channel is tiny. I'd love to see it grow. But again, I'm having fun putting this together for you. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you in the next episode.